Okay, go ahead and put your name down here. This is a brand new pen, so we'll find that. Put your name on here. It is currently, what hour is it? Second hour. Okay, we already went over this on the board, but let's fill it. You have it on your note sheets. We have 4 inequality symbols that we can use. We have a less than symbol, which looks like this. It points to the left. We have a greater than symbol, point to the right. And then less than or equal to, we add in the line underneath. Greater than or equal to, add in the line underneath. Okay, once we finish solving our inequalities, we're going to graph on a number line. The point at which your number line starts is where you put either an open circle or a closed circle. So less than, greater than, we will do open circles with an arrow to the left, open circle with an arrow to the right. And then how we signify on our number line how it is or equal to is we color in that circle. So a closed circle with an arrow to the left for less than or equal to, a closed circle with an arrow to the right for greater than or equal. Okay. For all of our inequality today, we just solve an equation. So an equation and inequality gets solved the exact same way. We are trying to get our variable itself. We're trying to isolate the letter. There's one difference, one extra thing that we have to do with inequalities when we're solving that we didn't have to do with equations. And that is when you multiply or divide by a negative number, you have to flip your inequality sign. So if it was a 11 sign, it becomes a greater than. If it was greater, it becomes less. The same thing, if your or equal to, less than or equal to, is greater than or equal to, greater than or equal to becomes less than or equal to. So that only has to happen if you multiply or divide by a negative number. So that is one extra rule that exists for dividing by inequalities, or for solving inequalities, is when you multiply it. Okay, the reason why we have to do that is if we take a negative number and we multiply it by a negative, it's going to become positive. So it flips around all of our signs, we have to flip around our inequality sign. Same thing if we multiply or divide a positive number by a negative, it's a negative, so we flip around our signs. So the way I think about it is if I were to multiply any number on this side of my number line by negative, flip all the way across to the side of my number line. Or vice versa, if I have a negative by negative, all the way to this side. Since we're flipping the sides of the number line, in order to keep our inequalities true, we have to flip our equality symbols as well. Any questions at the moment? Okay, we have 4 examples to do on this note sheet, and then your assignment is only 8 problems long. So we'll go on that after. Okay, first you've got is negative 3x plus 3 is less than or equal to negative 12. So where we have an equal sign, we have an equality sign. If you want to draw it out, you can. So you've got negative 3x plus 3 is less than or equal to negative 12. The first thing that I'm going to do is subtract that 3 from both sides of my equation. So I've got negative 3x is less than or equal to negative 12 minus 3 is negative 15. From there, you're trying to get x by itself. What operation is happening to negative 3x? What? Multiplication. Division. So we're going to divide both sides of our inequality by negative 3. I would put a little note to myself, word flip right here. We are flipping our sign because we divided by a negative. So have less than or equal to, flip it to be a greater than or equal. Okay, on the left side of our equation, negative 3 over negative 3 is 1, so just have our x. On the right side of the equation, negative 15 divided by negative 3, negative divided by negative is positive, and that is 5. Okay, any questions about solving? Okay, then we graph all of our solutions on our number line. When you guys were on ITEL, you graphed the right on top of the number line, but it was doing it in a different color line so you see it. Since we are writing in color, you're writing, we are drawing right above the number line. So here at 5, go ahead, put a circle there. So instead of doing it there, do it up here. And then go ahead and shade in that dot because it's greater than or equal to. You need a colored in dot. We're going to put arrow to the right. So we solved it just like we solved the two-step equation. We flipped our sign since we divided negative. Any questions at the moment about anything on that one? Okay, we got 3 more. Let's keep going. Next one. We've got 7 plus 5 is greater than negative 2. We're going to start by subtracting 5 on both sides. We've got 7x is greater than negative 2 minus 5, which is negative 6. I've subtracted, so I'm not even water divided, so I don't need to worry about that yet. The last thing I need to do to get x by itself, I'm going to get rid of that 7. The opposite of multiplying by 7 is dividing by 7, so I'm going to divide both sides by 7. What did I just divide by? 7. Is that negative? No. So since the number I divided by is not negative, I do not need to flip my signs. Stay right. Then right here, now after divide, that negative 7 divided by 7 is negative 1. So my answer x is greater than negative 1. Even though I divided and I got a negative answer, I got divided by a negative number, so I do not flip sign. Any questions about that? Okay, so we need to graph it. So we are going to go put a circle at negative 1. It is going to say an open circle because it is greater than, not greater than, or equal to. And then the numbers that are bigger than negative 1 are 0, 1, 2, 4, 6, 7. You're on air to the right. Any questions on that one? Right. We've got 2 to look at. These are 2 that we have fractions and pick out on our side. That's not recyclable. Please. All right, we have 2 more that are fractions. If we have a big fraction like this, I mean every negative is negative 1. So we would start by multiplying everything by that negative 1. So multiply by negative 1 on the left, multiply by negative 1 on the right. This cancels out, so I just have x plus 2. Since I just multiplied by negative, I need to flip my sign. I'm going to have less than. And 8 times negative 1 is negative 8. Okay, then I've got one more step. I'm going to get rid of this plus 8 by subtracting 10. I have x is less than negative. Oh my god, I said plus 10. I meant 2. I'm going to get rid of the 2 by subtracting 2. We got negative 8 minus 2 is negative 10. That's the 10 I was already thinking of. Okay. Any questions at the moment? Oh, we need to so open circle negative 10. Or goes to the left. Is less than. Okay. Last one. We have x over 5 minus 2 is less than or equal to 4. The only thing that we are dividing by the 5 is the x. So we can move this first. So we're going to add both. We have x over 5 is less than or equal to 4 plus 2, which is 6. And then this is currently different. Opposite of division is multiplication. I'm going to multiply both sides equally by 5. 5 over 5. Reduce it to 1. So we just have x less than or equal to. We didn't multiply by a negative. 6 and 5 is 30. We will do a closed circle because it's or equal to, and then our arrow goes to the left. All right, I am going to go ahead and finish the video.